Welcome to ML's English Podcast, the show where English learning meets mindset growth. Whether you're here to boost your vocabulary, speak with confidence, or build a strong, unstoppable mindset, you're in the perfect place. Get ready for powerful tips, real conversations, and high energy that will move you forward. This is more than just a podcast. This is your new routine for success.
Okay, let's dive right in. You sent us some really profound stuff this week, all about navigating those times when life just feels, well, heavy. So our mission for this deep dive, really pulling from all those notes and articles you listeners shared, is to kind of extract the powerful nuggets, things to help cultivate self-compassion and really understand that quiet strength that takes to feel. Are you ready to maybe uncover some surprising truths?
Absolutely. And what's really compelling in the material you gathered is how it consistently frames vulnerability. It's not seen as a deficit, not at all, but as a totally essential part of being human and actually essential for growth.
Right.
We can explore that often underestimated resilience, the kind you find right in the middle of those quiet struggles. And maybe why embracing those feelings, really feeling them, can be the most honest way to find some peace.
Yeah.
It really makes you ask, doesn't it? How can we genuinely shift our view to see struggles not just as roadblocks, but maybe as unique chances for some deep self-discovery?
That's a fantastic place to start. Okay, let's kick things off with a feeling I think a lot of us know really well. That sort of quiet ache underneath everything, even when you're, smiling, showing up, doing all the things.
That hidden weight.
Exactly. Those days when, like the source said, nothing huge is happening, but something still doesn't feel right. Or maybe the opposite. It feels like too much is happening all at once, a breakup, a disappointment, and illnesses. Just this invisible weight on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And the worst part, often you feel like you're supposed to be okay, like you should be strong, you should just move on. That internal pressure just adds another layer, doesn't it?
It really does. And this is exactly where the insights you shared offer such a powerful reframe. The material clearly states being overwhelmed is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you care, that you're human, that your heart is doing its best to hold things it wasn't meant to carry alone. This hits directly against, a core idea in our modern culture, this productivity focus that kind of expects emotional stoicism.
Right, like you should handle anything.
Precisely.
Right.
So the insight here isn't just about feeling validated, though that's important. It's a profound reframing. Overwhelm as a signal of deep empathy, deep engagement. It invites us to see it not as some personal failing, but maybe as an indicator that your system, is overloaded. It shifts the focus, really, from I need to fix myself to maybe I need to reevaluate my load.
That distinction is huge, yeah. So what does this actually mean for you listening right now? It means you are absolutely, definitely not alone if, like one source put it, today all you can do is wake up, breathe, and try not to cry before breakfast.
Some days are just like that.
Exactly. And the key takeaway here, I think, is that some days don't come with answers, just feelings. Just reading that, it feels like a game changer. It lets us acknowledge what is right now without demanding we fix it immediately or have a neat little plan. It's about accepting the messy, raw reality of being human sometimes.
Building right on that point, the material you provided talks about this profound shift that can happen, often in stillness. It mentions the smallest whisper inside me that said, you're going to be okay. And this isn't about suddenly having all the answers, or some big miracle cure. It really pushes us to think, what if the bravest thing isn't solving everything? What if it's just acknowledging your feelings without judging them?
Just letting them be there.
Exactly. The text is incredibly clear on this. You don't need to fix everything right now. You don't need to have a plan. You don't need to explain why you're sad or prove why you're tired. I mean, that perspective offers such a radical act of self-acceptance, doesn't it? Especially in a world that always seems to want quick fixes and for everyone to look composed all the time.
I love that phrase, radical act. It really does flip the script, doesn't it? What honestly surprised me most reading this section was the sheer permission it gives. Permission to feel fragile. Permission to not have it all together. Permission to cry in the middle of a sentence even. Or just say, look, I can't do this right now. The world moves so fast, it's exhausting, but healing has its own pace. And you really don't have to keep up with anyone else's timeline.
That's such a vital point.
So how does this change how we usually think about strength? Because, we're taught strength means pushing through, not breaking down or admitting you're struggling.
Well, that's a really sharp observation. because the material directly pushes back against years, maybe decades of conditioning, the kind that tells us doing well meant always being in control, always smiling, always being productive.
Yeah, the performance of wellness.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the text says really powerfully that the hardest times of my life taught me how to be soft with myself. Struggling, it argues, doesn't actually make you broken. It makes you human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no prize for pretending to be strong all the time, and definitely no gold star for bottling up what hurts. Your struggle, in fact, that might be the most honest part of your story. This isn't about like wallowing in misery. It's about recognizing that real, authentic strength comes from engaging with everything we experience as humans, including the difficult parts.
Okay.
And this idea, this allowing ourselves to be soft, it's almost like a form of cognitive reappraisal. Changing how we interpret our own feelings.
Yeah.
And that is incredibly powerful for building long-term emotional resilience.
That makes so much sense. Okay, so moving from the sort of philosophical side to something really practical, let's pivot. Let's talk about something that feels maybe small but is often overlooked. The power of tiny, almost invisible choices.
Ah, yes, the small things.
Yeah. We often look for the big fixes, don't we? The grand solutions to complicated problems. But as the sources you shared pointed out, sometimes healing looks like brushing your teeth after 3 difficult days. Or maybe replying to that one message you've been avoiding, or just drinking a glass of water when you'd rather stay in bed. Why do these things, these seemingly tiny acts, have such a big impact on healing?
Well, what's truly fascinating here, I think, is the emphasis on these small acts of care, acting as a lifeline. Especially when life feels overwhelming. It really challenges our societal obsession with, huge changes and grand gestures.
Right, the overnight transformation idea.
Exactly. The sources mention simple rituals. Things like lighting a candle at night, making the bed in the morning, stretching for just 5 minutes, listening to the same soft song on repeat. These acts, they aren't about solving everything instantly.
Okay.
Instead, as the material points out, they just quietly remind you, I'm still here, I'm still trying.
Yeah.
From a psychological standpoint, each one is like a micro win. It engages this principle called behavioral activation.
Behavioral activation, okay.
Yeah, they build a little bit of self-efficacy, a little momentum. They slowly start to rewire our brain's reward system. And they rebuild our capacity for action, our trust in ourselves, even when the big problems are still there. They're like tiny seeds that eventually blossom into self-trust.
Wow, micro wins. I like that. It's so profound how those tiny actions can really add up. Because we live in a world, like you said, that celebrates the loudest, fastest, strongest moments. But as your material shows, quiet effort, slow healing, choosing to be gentle when your mind is screaming, that's powerful too.
Deep power in the quiet.
Yeah. You don't need to fix your whole life today. You don't need to feel inspired or hopeful or strong right this second. You just need to maybe keep choosing softness over shame, kindness over criticism, and presence over pressure. Those tiny acts are actually building your future strength, your inner safety, your trust in yourself. 1 cup of tea, 1 clean shirt, 1 real conversation. That's how you start to come back to yourself. It's this gentle, persistent accumulation of self-care.
And it's natural, of course, that we don't like pain. It's uncomfortable. It slows us down. It makes things messy. It brings up emotions we'd rather avoid. Grief, disappointment, fear.
Definitely.
And most of the time when we're right in the thick of it, we just want a shortcut, a fix. We just want it to stop. But the material you gathered, it invites us to ask a really profound question. What if the pain you're feeling now is part of your becoming?
Oof. Yeah.
It's a challenging thought for sure, especially when you're hurting or confused. But if you step back for a moment, some of the strongest, most compassionate people, they seem to be shaped by the quiet courage it took to keep going after being broken. They were often softened by heartbreak, not hardened. They became wiser, more real through the process.
That's such a powerful reframe, this idea that you can be both hurting and healing simultaneously, that you can feel broken and still be growing.
Holding both.
And that sometimes what looks like a breakdown is really just the beginning of a breakthrough. We don't choose our pain, that seems clear. But the sources suggest we do get to choose how we walk through it. Does the material offer any hints on how? How do we make that choice to stay soft, stay honest, and let the pain teach us something about who we really are, instead of just shutting down or trying to numb it?
Well, the guidance is sort of implicit in the invitation itself, I think. It suggests that simply asking the question, Just asking, what is this teaching me? What part of me is being reshaped right now?
Yeah.
That act alone is enough to start the process.
Just the asking.
Just the asking. Even if you don't have immediate answers or any answers for a while, the act of inquiry itself, it opened a pathway for understanding rather than just resistance or shutting down. The material encourages you to trust that good things need roots first. And crucially, sometimes the roots grow deepest in the dark.
Wow.
You are not just defined by what has happened to you. You're also what you've survived. And importantly, even right now, in the middle of whatever you're facing, you are becoming someone stronger. This process is often unseen, like those roots underground. But it is always happening, always in motion, building this enduring inner landscape.
What a beautiful and hopeful way to think about it. Okay, so let's try and bring all these threads together now. There's this quiet kind of strength that no one talks about.
The unseen strength?
Yeah, the strength it takes just to keep showing up for your life when you feel exhausted. The strength it takes to say, maybe just to yourself, I'm not okay, but I'm still trying. That strength, for you listening, that's what's carrying you right now.
Yes.
Even on those days where maybe you felt like giving up, you still woke up, you still moved through the hours, you still listened to something soft like this. That matters. It matters more than you probably know. It's really a testament to your quiet, persistent resilience. And maybe a reminder that even these subtle English words and phrases, they can carry immense meaning and comfort.
Yes, exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's really about shifting, isn't it? Shifting away from trying so hard to be okay and moving towards simply allowing yourself to be as you are.
Allowing. That feels key.
It is. The material you shared summarizes this so beautifully. It says, you're not behind, you're not broken, you're not too much or not enough. You are human and healing and slowly coming back to life. And the ultimate promise woven through these ideas is that one day you'll look back at this season and realize that you were growing all along, quietly, invisibly, like roots under the soil. And when the light returns, you'll rise. Not because you forced yourself, white-knuckled, to be strong,
Right.
but because you learned how to be soft. And that softness, it isn't weakness at all. It's actually a profound, sustainable, and deeply human strength.
Wow. Okay, so if no one else has told you lately, please know this. I'm proud of you. I believe in you. You're going to be okay. And not because everything will magically get better overnight, but because you are getting better at loving yourself through whatever life throws at you. That feels like the absolute core nugget for this deep dive.
That self-compassion piece is central. And thinking about all this, we've explored how these small acts of self-care and really acknowledging vulnerability, they form the foundation for a profound kind of strength. But it raises an interesting point, doesn't it?
Okay.
If healing can be so quiet, so invisible sometimes, and gentleness is so key, how do we tell the difference between genuine self-compassion, which is vital, and maybe inadvertently using that gentleness to avoid necessary change that might feel uncomfortable?
That's a tricky line to walk.
It is. So it prompts this question, I think. In our very important pursuit of softness and kindness towards ourselves, how do we also cultivate the inner resolve we might need for bolder steps towards growth, especially when those steps feel inherently challenging or unfamiliar? It's a nuanced balance, isn't it? Something worth mulling over, perhaps.
That's a wrap for today's deep dive on MLS English podcast. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this deep dive with someone who's serious about growing in English and in life. Keep practicing, keep pushing, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's grow together.